this very activity we're doing right now, driving around the city, is how Arthur would spend each and every morning. So if there was a mattress that was out on the sidewalk, Tricia and myself would get a phone call to make sure it was picked up.
Tell us about the senior center vote. Oh my gosh, do you remember,
I got
Mike?
sued.
Remember going to the 240 Main Street and being in that meeting with all the...
So the good thing is, so we had an attorney there that no one knew who he was, because he looked like Joe Blow on the side of the road. And he's one of the smartest guys out there, so we hired him to represent us. So he's sitting in the front row and he's listening to everyone speak.
This is Greg and McGregor.
Yeah.
Greg McGregor.
Yeah, Greg, and more Gregs. Finally, after everyone's done all their criticism and why we can't do it and everything else, he did his routine. So I don't think they thought we were going to push it as far as we did. Because once we made the decision, and that was, John Galone standing by my side with Mike and just pushing the thing, as opposed to backing off and just saying, all right, we're going to go somewhere else.
No, if I'm being honest, I think, when you have a vocal minority in opposition, you sort of, sometimes it can really put you on your heels. So I would definitely...
For me, yeah, but for the normal person...
Yeah, but for me, no, I would say, I would credit you as the one that you're the one that I think I probably, if you said, you know what, I'm going to back off and let's go back to square one, I probably would have said, okay. And that's probably the right thing to do, but you didn't, and now you have a senior center.
And I was going to hold off on the fields for a couple of years, and you guys convinced me, no, we got to do it now because they don't believe you. And doing the whole project over, so the field's bigger than it was when we started. We did all the parks, we did the skateboard park, we did the tennis courts that they've already changed out because the pickleball had a louder voice than the tennis people. And
it really is to have a place like this in the center of the city with a lot of green space, recreation, a big field. It's pretty nice.
Whose idea was the skate park?
We had to do something for the kids, so they had a little one here.
We had to get them out of City Hall.
Yeah, plus they had a real lousy one. So we told them we would do that also. This pickleball thing is out of control. It's unbelievable how many people use it. They're here till noontime every day, about 10 or 12 of them.
And does youth football still use it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's still beat up from the season. Yeah. But
it's a beautiful area, though. I mean, even for the seniors, to be located right with a field where you can go, walk a few laps. And,
well, they do that a lot.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We couldn't convince anyone. They really thought we were going to build in the middle of the field and take the field away.
Yeah.
And we could not convince them that wasn't true. In the school, John and I negotiated a lease in the school with the Assabet Collaborative, so because we were going to have to put a boatload of money into it if we didn't let them do it.
The lawsuit itself, though, was no joke. It was, but it was looking back at these statutes from the 1920s and the deed.
Oh, they went
Artemis
through
Ward, and it was a pretty thorough.
That was Paul Broder's house. He was one of the leaders on it.
What do you mean was? He doesn't live there?
He's passed away, but he called me and said it's turned out beautiful. I wasn't expecting this, and I'm glad you did it.
You look back at it and you go, all the prognostications and doom and gloom that people were predicting never came to pass. Sometimes City Hall does have the right answer.
They usually don't. I mean...
So what projects was Nick involved in?
School was first because that was... The city had applied to the MSBA.
Right, I remember. You had all the connections down there with McCarthy.
Right. And, I mean, the big thing there was the model school piece of it where...
They made us redesign the whole thing.
So the first design was Marlborough Pagano at $67 million, and some folks weren't happy with the price tag. So we used the MSBA model school program, and the price came down. I think it was $54 million at the end of the day by using a design that had been built previously in 2 different communities and tried and tested. So great bid prices, and the outcome, I guess, has been really great.
On time and on the budget.
Right.
Nothing better than that. This is one of the 3 turf fields.
Right, and these were done with the school, right?
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, reducing the cost enabled that project's improvements to this road.
These are the last of my tennis courts. They're all turned into pickleball courts now. They're trying to take over the world.
I know, it's crazy. Somebody just drew pickleball courts on some of our courts in Milton without approval.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, we
With
changed
real
them over.
paint?
Yeah.
Yeah, this came out pretty good. The good thing about this one, with Nick and John involved, I don't think I came down here 3 times during the entire construction.
Yeah, everything about this project came together well. The way we were able to do the site work first, it all timed out and with a really good rhythm. And I mean, you can't beat the product and the price.
No, that we're doing it again now. We're getting the $2 million for the feasibility study. They're going to make us design the whole thing all over again.
Yeah.
And then we're going to grab one off the shelf, hopefully. Did this whole complex over. Tore all these units apart. The state gave us a grant.
Internally?
So what
Oh,
happened
wow.
when the state was going to take over all the housing authorities and all the units, it was like, they're going to be a freaking disaster. We'll never get maintenance again. So Doug Bushman and I got together and I said, I want all the complexes done as fast as we can get them done, because once the state takes over, we're cooked. Well, the state never decided to take them over, but this project, they kept giving us money for it. Started out with like $3-4 million. We ended up at $7.5 million. And it's too bad. We wanted to take the whole complex down and start over, because could have added units.
Oh.
But
Gotta replace those benches.
that's a different part of money, so you can't do that. It's like, just give me the same money and let me tear them down. Nope.
Doug was kind of having the right people at the right time. He was a good guy to have at the time, because he was pretty aggressive in chasing after all that
he
money.
was real aggressive in chasing after money. It was great. It was great. So there's 2 restaurants here that have been written up for national award places. The Puller, that was number 1 and number 5 with.
Nope.
And this one here, the Prospect, is world renowned.
Best pork head sandwich around.
For something.
What's the prelate? What kind of food?
Brazilian. Meredith just took.
Oh, like the meats on the.
Yeah.
Oh,
So so this is the car on the sidewalk that's going to get ticketed in about 15 minutes after Trish calls. Tell him to come up here and ticket the freaking things. Text them.
All right.
So this is my first elementary school. Well, kindergarten I went somewhere else, but this is the elementary school. And I was here for the first 3 years. And they called my parents and said I was really more a public school kid, and asked me to leave in the 3rd grade. So we used to have.
Teacher Ruth Boland, was that?
No, that was on the other side of town. This is the Catholic school. So they had a line right across the big parking lot, and the boys would have to play on one side of the line, and the girls would play on the other side of the line. Well, 9 times out of 10, I would have to hold that skirt from the nuns, the big robes they wear. I'd have to, because I was being punished again in the 3rd grade, and I'd have to walk around with them, because they'd walk around the thing. But we'd run out, when I wasn't in trouble in doing that, we'd see if you could run all the way down to Lake Williams through the woods and get back before recess was over. And there was a store up there where the P is on the other side, in this little corner thing, that was a bathroom. And we'd climb out the bathroom, run down, and see if we could buy some stamps and get back again before the nun was looking for you, because you went to the bathroom and you were gone 20 minutes.
Some deep history in this.
So in 12 years, I got pretty aggressive with the streets.
Yes.
But you know how much it takes and how long it takes.
A lot of reclamations. And
I don't know what you have for sewer and water, but so we have to do sewer and water almost everything we do. So it's very expensive. But I committed to trying to do it over 20 years, all of them. So over 12 years, what percentage of the roads do you think we ended up doing after putting a lot of effort into it?
What percent of the roads?
Of all the roads in the city.
Oh God. 9%.
How much?
9%.
9%. We got 45% of
No,
the
you
roads
didn't.
done.
Wow. Okay.
No kidding. I mean, it just 55 miles of roadway we got done.
That's awesome. I remember our capital plans always called for $4 million
Yeah.
into it.
Well, I've been spending almost double that every year, and I'm still only 45% done. Because the original plan we got showed, I think, $100 million over 20 years.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
obviously, with inflation, the cost of roads and everything. So
Well, I mean, that's the flexibility that the commercial tax base gives you. In 2 communities I've been in since here, in Medfield, we spent only our Chapter 90 apportionment on the roads.
Come on,
And
that's it?
In Milton, we spent Chapter 90 plus maybe $1 million additional each year.
And you know how many people do just that? Just the Chapter 90 money.
Right. And at that point, all we're doing, I mean, in the subdivisions, they're doing the chip sealing, and that's it. And nobody likes that product, but it's all you could really afford to get enough done. But having that flexibility to invest makes
Tons
a world
of
of
because we
difference.
only get about $2 million a year.
Right.
And we've been spending 7 to 9. And it's just not enough.
No, the other thing that, and it's, I don't know if it's done or in progress, is the lead line replacement.
We did them all.
That's awesome.
We
That's
replaced them,
incredible.
and we didn't charge anybody.
Right.
I absorbed the cost. We got the 0% interest rate. And we did 1,200 connections, Trish.
Yeah, that's the number I remember.
1,200.
And we did them all. They're all finished at this point.
So Boston used to only pay for a portion. It was capped.
Yeah.
The city of Boston would only pay up to $3,000 per line, and the homeowner would have to find the contractor and do the work and then get paid back. But just doing it straight as the city, I mean, to clean out the lead lines, that makes a big difference and ahead of the curve, because that's only something people are starting to focus on now.
Yep, we're done. You know what? You can see exactly up here. You'll know exactly where Northborough comes in and Marlborough leaves. Let's see if you can figure out where.
Do you get a shiver down your spine when you leave the border at Marlborough and cross into another community?
It depends which one. So,
Oh,
yeah.
there we go.
Oh.
Marlborough.
For those that can't see, there's about a
Road.
pothole every 9 inches.
So we just did these roads over. So if you do this loop around, the walk around, it's about just over 3 miles.
Wow. I can't believe the number is 45% of the roads.
It's unbelievable.
That's
I was
awesome.
surprised
Yeah.
because you drive around, and and the ones that we did 12 years ago look like they need to be done again. But now we're in Northborough. Can you tell? I know that you're responsible for this. Tell me about. Remember when you got all the convicts covered with poison ivy?
Oh, that was up at Stevens Park.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right, we need more. What do you mean?
So we were able to get the prison gangs from the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office,
Low offenders.
and up at Stevens Park we were trying to do a cleanup, and one of the things that the mayor wanted done was he wanted all the vine taken out from the fence, and we wanted to put up, just really clean it up. It was just kind of
And they do a
distressing.
great job for us. They really do.
And so we would provide them lunch, and I always enjoyed taking the lunch orders and picking a new place to go. And one day we had them up, and we had little brush cutters, and then that was it. And then the next time they came out, a couple of the corrections officers and a couple of the prisoners said that they all had gotten poison ivy, and 3 or 4 of them were completely covered and had to go down to the infirmary and be doused in calamine lotion. And then one of the corrections officers said that somehow he got it, and he blamed me for him having to use 4 sick days.
Yeah. So there was a contract out for a very short time on Mike. It was only for a few days before they caught wind of it, and the sheriff stepped in and said, "Kill the contract."
My theory is that some of the guys actually rubbed and rolled around on the poison
wanted
ivy
to go
so
to the
they
firm.
could get out of
But I don't think the guard did. I think he was legitimately pissed.
You gotta bring Nick to where the goats were. Oh, yeah.
The what?
The goats.
The so
It was
we
the goat.
started with the goats at the baseball field. Where was
They
the
were
first?
down near the courthouse with the walking.
Oh
path
yeah,
for,
yeah.
like,
The first trail we put
Yeah.
in, the inside portion of
Yep.
it. So
goats. I forgot about the goats.
goats are still popular. We still have them. The problem is
That
they
was
put out
the
too late.
most popular post on Facebook.
All right, you gotta explain the goats. What's the
Oh,
story behind the
sorry.
goats? Why?
I think it was you who was asking for them.
Well, I called. I read about it somewhere. I saw
Yeah.
it somewhere.
Oh, I
Then I don't
think,
know.
didn't Dean use
Well,
them?
no, yeah, but someone told me Dean used them. I don't know. You might have told me Dean used them. So I called Dean. He said, they're great. They eat the poison ivy, the bittersweet. And one of the farmers gives them to us all summer. So I pay for them because I'm not that as smart as Dean. But I think we pay $4,000 a year. But he moves them for us, too.
Yeah.
We don't have to move anything. We don't have to do anything. We had the goats back here, too.
Yeah. I feel like one year we got regular goats, and the next year it was like mini goats.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mini goats?
Yeah, I think
Did
they were
not-
like.
Did they not eat
they're
it?
not.
Is that a thing?
I think they were like not full size goats, if that
So you
makes
got
any
gypped?
sense. Perhaps they didn't eat as much, and they were smaller, if my memory serves.
They are something. They love poison ivy and bittersweet.
Take it.
I have plenty of it. This is Mike's first project. He was a huge success, but we didn't know everything about the program yet. But Mike did this one himself. This was before April, and he did this one himself.
Yeah, it was a 2 attempts. The first one we did, we got turned down, and then we invited the program managers from Housing and Economic Development out to the city to go over the application and figure out what we needed to sharpen our pencil on, and then came back, and I think we got about just about $1.5 million, but
Yep.
to add in the sidewalk and completely redo the roadway. And at the time, we had TJX come in, and the sort of context was, after the Great Recession, the city had these 2 big parcels that were empty, and the mayor and the MEDC were working on TIF agreements, and so part of the Cimarano Drive application was to do our part to make this a more inviting campus for businesses to want to relocate and make it more inviting to the employees to be able to go take a walk. And so it was, I'd say, definitely a significant part to what became the real thriving economic development hub that Cimarano Drive is now.
So this was one of the first ones that came in. The first TIF that came in almost around the state. It was the largest one at the state at this time. It was the first one we did in the city of Marlborough. All the state representatives were here to walk us through it because it was a brand new concept that we gave 3Com a TIF, and we were negotiating it, long distance with California, but it turned out to be a phenomenal building. 3Com's not here anymore. We got Hologic here, BJ's is here, and the view out there is unbelievable. And on a clear day from the 4th floor, you can see the skyline in Worcester and the skyline in Boston at the same time. That was before some of the
BJ's
trees.
has a nice roof deck.
Yep. They built the parking garage for it, though. And the council came through with a TIF for the parking garage. But this one's expired now, so they pay. This is another one that's over $1 million a year in revenue to the city.
And why is that so important?
Well, the thing is that it's not giving anything away. It's only looking at the revenue moving forward. So maybe instead of getting $100 next year in new taxes, we only get 70, but it builds up to 100, and it brings jobs here, and people are spending money in the city. The gas stations, convenience stores, restaurants, and it brings in additional tax revenue. And if they don't come through, and we've had a couple that haven't worked out, if they don't come through, there is no TIF. So you got an empty building there, but it's still bringing in substantial tax revenue. It won't bring in the other money, but it's bringing in substantial tax revenue to the city. So
That was the biggest thing, the misconception around tips is
It
so
still
significant.
is, and it's going back to that now. We got to re-educate. It took us years
say
to
you
get
gotta-
off of it.
The Avalon, because these weren't built.
No, this is part of the Joe Zink project with Atlantic Management, all the digital property.
And that, but I'd say the Avalon was also one of the things that helped secure the grant, because we had such housing in this area. So not only were the roadway improvements going to serve the employees, but there's, I don't know, probably 500-600 residents that are living at that Avalon facility.
So Lincoln Street, we've done the entire section over. There's one little section left to go down at the new project, and
We just got another grant.
we just got the final kiss from Karen on the way out the door. Go ahead. The concrete's still there, Trish. Get it out of there. So here's my new boardwalk.
Wow. Has anyone jumped in yet?
Well, obviously some people are right now.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty. Have you walked? I assume you've
No,
walked
it's
it.
not done yet.
Oh, it's
These are the
not?
These are the
Completed
workers.
yet.
Oh,
These are the workers. And they keep it away from the shore so people aren't going out there. So they're almost done.
I thought it was going to be out there permanently.
Yeah, it is, but they're keeping people off of it until they're completed because it's still under construction. So we're just trying to finish this project up before we leave, my boardwalk. So we probably talked about it when you were here about doing it.
All the way
Probably a friend of you
around.
told me we couldn't do it. State won't let you do it. And then Galoni came in, and so we're 90% done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goes around the whole outside. Because we're not using it for drinking water anymore. So I was hoping to get people fishing and doing canoes and kayaks in here before I left. But
Close.
that's not going to happen, but this is going to be up and ready. So when John Galoni got finished the splash pad down at Galoni Park, you know, it's like we got to do something up to Stevens Park. It's like the forgotten area.
I've never been there.
Really?
No?
No, and we put a
That's
lot of
nice.
effort into this. We got the splash pad here. We've done a lot of work on the fields. We put a big playground in the back. We just had the water tank relined. We did the standpipe a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was here when I was
You were here
repainted.
for that, right?
It was painted, I think, just as I was starting.
Yep. So, I mean, this came out pretty good. And bathroom facilities that people can actually walk in.
And what funds go into the recreation fund?
So all the meals,
Meals
the
tax,
optional
that's
meals
right.
tax goes to recreation. It's paying all the bonds right now, plus a few dollars, but it's worked pretty well. It's all dedicated. Yeah, these are the signs they put up originally, and I said, "Who the hell is going to read that?" It says no parking eventually in 3 languages, but it's like no one's going to read
A little
that.
bit of throat clearing.
Just
before.
put a regular no parking sign and start towing cars. I don't have time for
Beginning of
this.
the season.
So how long, where were you in the process with the Apex Center?
So it was a forest when I got here, and it was demo.
Gone when you-
Gone when I left. The woods were gone, but the hotels were up and open.
Yeah, but they opened the Apex Center in December of 2017.
Right. The whole thing. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think they were
I think they're still finishing. Didn't they have an office
they were
building?
shooting
Yeah,
for the
this right
fall,
here.
but it
Yeah.
opened in
This is the
late
office.
December.
So we're taking in over $1.5 million from this complex. And this is, it probably gets about 20% more than this at the busiest time of the day.
Yeah.
Traffic just does not come out here, which is shocking.
Right.
Because I even questioned that, but it's turned out unbelievable. It
Yeah,
really
we got a
has.
MassWorks grant for this one too.
Yep.
Yeah,
$3
you
million,
must have worked
right?
on
Yep.
that
On the
deck,
MassWorks.
right?
Yep.
But they do have everything down here.
And I think, I mean, this all started with just you looking for a restaurant.
I call
Wait,
Joe
table
Troller.
restaurant.
I call Joe Troller and ask him to bring Walker down here to get me a white tablecloth restaurant. Where we're gonna put it? I said there's a little pad over there you can use. Okay. They came down here and said you gotta have it on Route 20. Let's look around. And he came back with basically the back of a napkin for the bottom half of this. And it was like, well, why wouldn't you do the whole thing? Yep, all right, we'll do that. We didn't think you wanted to do that big. So he came back a few weeks later with the whole plans, and it was all done with one phase.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
It's awesome.
Still don't have a white tabletop restaurant.
Nope, still don't have that, but I have the Apex Center.
It's okay.
And it's almost like we went up to see Mike Mahoney at Boston Side about a month ago or so, 2 months ago. This is the first time in 12 years he didn't even bring it up. I think, because they don't go to them anymore either. We walked in and he had jeans and sneakers on.
Yeah, it's all changing.
It's like it's all changed.
So Nick, have you come here with your kids?
No, we will though. I mean, they're not quite
There yet.
in terms of.
Well, just keep
Taking
in mind that when you do come, first you got to get an equity loan. This guy invented the gyroscope that goes into all the missiles and goes into the spaceships and everything else.
Add coal.
I heard gyro. I thought you were talking about the sandwich.
No. And then on the other side down there, we have the company that puts the cone on so the gyroscope works. The cone right on the missiles, it's a clear glass cone.
And then we have another company.
So this was Shipley, Dow Chemical, DuPont. It's been through different purchases along the way, but they've been great.
The thing that I would say, I was kind of thinking about it yesterday, is, Marlborough obviously benefits from its location. You get the Pike and you get Route 9, but...
What's that have to do with anything?
No, but without...
I thought it was Meredith and I.
But, well, I was going to say, without, the aggressiveness to pursue these companies, location alone is important, but you need the recruiting, you need the marketing, you need to show the investment. Companies don't want to come to a place and spend money on a building if the rest of the place around it is a dump.
So we've redone all the roads down here except for Nickerson. That's the only one I haven't got done yet. And I probably won't get it done in the next 28 days, but that's the reason I pushed so hard to get Cimarano and Hayes Memorial and Bartlett Street and Cedar Hill all done, because most of the councilors don't worry about that because there's no votes here,
That's a great point.
But if they don't get them done, these companies aren't happy.
But that's why you always saw the bigger picture, because businesses don't vote, but they bring in tax revenue into the city to do the things and provide the programs and services that people do want. So,
Mike, you were involved in TJX, right?
yeah, I think the first 5 or 6 TIFs.
Well, he would have been, because when I went to TJX, so there's a TJX story. So Nancy was still Mayor Stevens, and we had one of our employees, their son, passed away the day she was supposed to be going to a meeting with Joe Zink over to Boston TJX. So she called me in the morning and said, "Can you go for me?" And I said, "Nancy, I was going with you, but I have it on the schedule for next week." She said, "I did too, but Joe just called me and it's today." So the dates got screwed up, and she said, "I can't go and no one from my team can go, so you're kind of on your own." I said, "All right, but I need an hour to go home and change." I was just running into the accounting office. So went home, changed. "Joe, I'm going to be a few minutes late." He greets me at the door at TJX. He says, "No big deal. They just want to know a little bit about the city, and you're business friendly. We're going to only meet a couple people, and everything will be fine." It's like, all right, thank you. So he takes me inside. We turn the corner, walk in the boardroom, and there's freaking 14 people sitting at the table. It's all the TJX executives.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and it was a great conversation. It really was. We had a good time. We had a good conversation. They said, "Okay, thank you very much for coming, but we're going to talk about another possibility of where we want to move."
Because they were looking at Joe's property, right?
Exactly. Joe was taking us there because they wanted to buy his property. So I said, well, I hope the other project's in Marlborough. And they said, actually, it is. We want you to stay. We want Joe to leave. So that's when they were talking about Fidelity. And I felt kind of uncomfortable because they were there. Joe brought me in to talk about his property. So they were right across from one another. And to be honest with you, we've made out fantastic with it. But they would have been a lot better off with Joe's property.
That's right.
So there's an old company that Meredith just picked up.
Wow, look at this one. What's this?
A little company called Moderna.
Oh. I sold their stock during COVID, and I thought I was
Good job.
I thought I was doing well when I made $700.
So they're looking at an additional site. So Meredith's been courting them to take the lot next door.
So is this where they make the microchips that go into the vaccine?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
going to be a
they'll take their,
manufacturing plant.
Yeah, so they'll take their mRNA vaccine and replicate it for other diseases.
So they did say when we were here a couple weeks ago, you know, it was really nice when we were getting those heavy rains earlier in the year because it was beautiful waterfalls coming right off of the rocks. They said it was really, really pretty.
What was this? Did they have to do blasting here?
Oh, tons. And this thing went up like that. And it was back here, so you never heard anything, you never saw anything. All of a sudden, there was a building here.
How much of these rocks are the ones that they used to blast?
What do you mean?
All,
They
like
were
all
look
these?
at-
But how
Oh,
far did
that,
it come
I don't
out?
know.
Like, did they have to?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, look at it, going down the
Oh, that's a
driveway.
lot. Wow.
Oh, a ton. But they just bought the building. Now they're retrofitting it. They're going to add 60,000 square feet before they open. Right now it's 140,000
I mean, they
square
could put a
feet.
couple nice rock climbing things
Oh,
right
beautiful. Yeah. And you fall, you can sue, and it's
Yeah.
a great company to fall
here. And then
down.
they'll.
And so this lot right here, he just bought, Arthur Gutierrez. And so she's trying to tie the two up because they're looking for another building, and obviously he'll do a great spec building. Well, you know, we have an entranceway sign from all 4 main entrances to the city: Southborough, Sudbury, Hudson, and Northborough. And we had when they were doing this development over here, we realized that we never had an easement for the sign we had up here from Northborough. So fortunately, we had a developer that would cooperate with us. We ended up negotiating an easement, and for some reason, the city council hasn't taken up the easement for the new sign in the last 7 months, but maybe it'll happen in January.
Saw Georgie on the way in.
Yeah?
We hired him, and Green had started just as I started. You had just picked him.
Yeah.
I was trying to think
They're
of the
both still with us.
I know.
Yeah.
That's great. I've just never. I was telling Chief Georgie this too, but when we were trying to put out a press release for Chief Green, and I asked him if he had a headshot, he said, "Oh, I don't have one." And then the next thing I know, he sent me a picture of him sitting in his front seat taking a selfie. That's the headshot for the press release. So I don't even remember if I used it or I just said forget it.
That's funny.
I assume he took it then and there and didn't have it on his camera, but maybe he
Right.
did. But
Were you through all the civil service stuff?
yep, the negotiations with both police and
geez.
fire.
I can't believe it. I got rid of it citywide.
No, and it was before it became.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing it, and the unions knew how valuable it was
Yeah.
to the communities.
Now, how much of this did you do?
The Council on Aging was open before I started, I think.
Yeah.
It was more of a mic.
That was 2015.
Yeah.
But the
Mike
park was-
Mike was here.
No.
You did the parks. though,
Yeah, we
didn't
were
you?
here for the playground and stuff.
And you did, remember we had the Fox News?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that?
The zip trip.
Zip trip.
Zip trip.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a call last minute. We need a
Yes.
place for a zip trip. Can we do that? Yeah, we can put that together.
That was fun.
So all these tennis courts have all been converted to pickleball courts now. So
Any fights? Any issues with the neighbors? Or is this not
no,
Wellesley to
we
Wellesley
haven't gotten
treatment?
that one. Do you have pickleball courts?
We have a couple, but nothing crazy. They're looking for a place to build some new ones.
Who is it that's having the trouble with
Wellesley.
the noise from the
I think
wall?
it's a Wellesley or Westwood, one of those. Won't surprise anybody.
No.
That stupid trip across America thing. What was that? They were on Main Street.
Oh, the Fireball Run.
Fireball Run, yeah.
When I showed up on a rainy day with my motorcycle.
That's right. Yes.
Sure did. That was a blast.
What was,
A lot more work than we realized.
Yeah.
What was the whole point of it?
It was missing children. You can still watch us on Amazon Prime though.
Is it on there?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever did.
Really?
I'll have to check it out.
Oh,
Are they still going?
I don't know, to be honest. I'll have to look.
It was pretty cool. And you weren't here for the beginning of the library.
I was here up until they were doing the design. Like, I wasn't here for the vote, but my uncle, Michael O'Connor Contracting, built the thing.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So Mike O'Connor is one of my grandmother, Peg O'Connor's younger brothers, and they're of 15. So my grandmother was the first of the family to come to America. So whenever everybody of the siblings came here, they always stayed with her first. And Mike obviously built what he built into quite a company.
Cool.
Yeah. I didn't know about it until somehow we were talking about the Marlborough Library because there was an issue. You had $1 million change order or something on some stone or terracotta or something.
Terracotta.
Yeah.
Terracotta.
Yeah.
Freaking $1 million.
Yeah.
They had to be custom designed and custom made, and it's like,
Yes.
but they're $1 million. Use plastic. Well, I gave it to them.
No. So small world. I can't believe you ever got another MassWorks project after that.
There was nothing there.
I know.
They made, but we didn't even embellish it.
No.
It was just like we barely put anything down. We
know.
did use the same housing project 3 times, but I can't believe they gave it. To
And I think for the ribbon cutting, we just
Yeah,
stood in
it's
front, stood in the street.
Yeah. Karen, where do you want to go? You sure you want to do this? Yeah, this is great.
That was-
So
I was
what-
just telling that story the other day because we were talking about Milton's last of MassWorks. I was like, lack of them. I was like, you don't even have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Just apply and, try. And Milton actually had housing projects to tie it to, but they've gotten one in 13 years. $1 million in 13 years. That's all they've ever done.
When I went to one of the programs, they had the map of who gets the MassWorks grants and everything else. There's only like 20 communities that even apply for these things.
Well, because only 20 communities do growth.
Right. And, well, even Northborough never
Wow.
applied, never got
Yeah.
one. I was shocked.
No, I mean, there's a lot of state grants out there, but communities that don't take advantage of the
Yeah,
big
but
ones will
that's
lose.
like a real one?
Yeah, it's real. It's real money.
Yeah.
It doesn't require much of a public match if there's a private project going next to it. So
Still going.
All right, so you want to hear a good story? So when I was a city councilor, my son was in high school. Ken, had summer intern jobs, so I got him a job here for the summer, and I said, just dump him in the warehouse. Okay. So they didn't give him a job in the warehouse, they gave him a job in the office doing coupons. So one day I had to take him down to work, and he says, Dad, you got to bring me in there and drop me off in there. You can't, late. Get the Christ out of my car and go over there and get in the, yep. So, get a call from Jim Sotheby shortly after that. He says, you're not going to believe this. I said, what? He said, your son just came in to work a little while ago. I said, yeah. He says, well, he ran across Andy's lawn. I said, what? He said, Andy doesn't like anyone walking on his lawn. So all of a sudden I hear from the other office, who the hell is running across my lawn? He said, oh, that's Vigeant's kid. He said, I don't give a who it is. Get him off my lawn. So we just did the deck hockey.
oh, that's awesome.
And the scoreboard better be going up in the next couple days because the sports center is paying for it. But I said, if I don't get it done before I leave, they're not going to give me a check. So we're hoping to get that finished up.
No, the splash pad was great. I think it was an earmark first, a state money
This
somehow.
one?
Yeah, I think this one was, and then because of the success, it went up to Stevens too.
Yeah.
But I mean, just from day one, it was.
I still
Unreal.
can't believe it because I said no one's going to use that freaking thing either. John said, no, they're really popular. This is where I come every election night and spend time here until 9 o'clock when I get the phone call. It's my mother and father. I had to take the bird feeder down because I got to change it out for the winter for a sewer. My sisters love when I put vegetables there and have a circus for my parents.
Do you want like on your headstone like the people's mayor?
Well, you know, you see the big thing about Rosalind Carter, and it's like, Susie, you think they're going to do that for me? She says, yeah, I wouldn't really hold out hope for that. We just did this road. This is Liberty Street. We did this for Karen because she needed a new road.
Where's Karen?
No, this is Karen. Well, there's her car.
On the hill,
It's
Yeah.
145.
Yeah.
She's call her.
right here. This house. See if she wants to come out.
It's gonna be really
She's
good.
up.
Watch this. She's out of bed. I know.
Tell her I'm here.
she's
She'll come out for me.
She'll be in the picture window.
Karen!
Go knock on the door. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, go to the picture window. I got a friend that wants to say hi. Just wave to him.
Who is it?
Just come to the freaking picture window.
I look like the wreck of the Hesperus.
Yeah, okay. Just come to the picture window. So if you look to the left,
Put your glasses on, Karen.
Who is it?
Blow me a kiss. It's your boyfriend.
Which one?
go to the freaking picture window.
Oh,
The young one.
he's catching up with me.
So
Oh.
it's 1:47. Are you going in soon?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on my machine now.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Like my mural? Did you see my mural?
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's
look at
nice.
this.
That's awesome. That's great. Who did that?
We hired a muralist, professional.
Well, how come his picture isn't up there?
Well, I just
we're
asked for a
doing
freaking.
pictures.
Because
my
people
initial-
would be spray painting like a mustache and
I
stuff.
just asked for
Yeah.
initials, and Trish wouldn't do that for me.
Well, because I didn't want graffiti.
They were supposed to hide it in the thing. So I do have a question about the mural. Who were the two entertainers? Because they were done after somebody.
No one.
Yeah, they're.
Who is it?
They're
They're
from,
think it's the-
Allens.
they're from the Allens.
I think it's the True Vibe Band.
Those are the Allens?
Yes.
Have you seen the Allens?
Well,
they're-
I
They don't
gave-
look like any of them.
It's an old picture.
I gave them an old picture, and Melissa actually contacted them and interviewed them to make sure that they were okay at being part of the mural.
Yeah.
Serapes is good.
They did a big thing for me for the parade. Put a big sign up for me.
Oh, just stop there a couple times on the way home.
Oh, wow, what a surprise that is. Bob Kay's asked me for two things when I started. Hey, I need two things done. All that equipment down at the Galoni Park, you gotta get rid of that. I said, what? He said, it's dangerous for the kids. So we got rid of that. And Memorial Beach. He wanted me to do over Memorial Beach. So I got them both done for him. But yeah, we did this whole thing over. Did the parking spaces, did the basketball court, did the playground. One of the things I really wanted to do, so we got a mural that Meredith had done for us up on the wall now.
Yep. See that, Mike? Way up in the snack.
The Marlborough.
Concession
Yeah, that's
stand.
beautiful.
Yep, they
That's
did that during
beautiful.
the food truck festival this year. And then the bench, that's the one we bought for Bob Kay's that we put his
dedicated.
name on it. Up there, the metal bench. See the metal bench?
Kind of in front of the.
Right in front of the
Mural.
mural.
Oh, I see it. I see
Yeah.
it. I see it.
So,
I mean, what we should really do is take the thing inside City Hall and film all the different offices where I had difficult conversations with people.
All right. Do you guys have time for lunch?
yeah, what do you want for lunch?
All right. That's good. Where are we going for lunch?
We'll go to the P again.